Welcome back, part 3. So, these are all the lenses I used. The 16 millimeter, 24, 28, 35, 50, 85 1.8, 85 1.2 prime. Okay. And then on the outside is the 15 to 35, the 20, that's a 2.8. The 24 to 105, which is a 2.8. The 24 to 240, which is, I think, an f4 to 6.3. And then, of course, last but not least is the 28 to 70 f2. Okay? So, let's get to the slideshow, all right? And I do not know. There we go. Now I do know. It was on the wrong one. So, this is 16 millimeter. What I want to show you is, and I'm trying to figure out what happened here. Let's go up. All right, I have to go like this. Oh, this right here is my first shot. You see that little speck right there? That's an airplane, all right? I can crop it in with a 45 millimeter. And you see, it's a little pixelated, but you can see it's a prop airplane, okay? But I want to show you this also. Not that. I want to bring it over like this. Okay. Take a look at this. All right. So there's a little optical illusion that you see. Everything goes toward the center. So around the center is sharp, but on the sides, you get kind of like a pincushion effect. All right. So I just want to show you what's going on. I do have, I think, the distortion control and stuff on, but even look at this house, okay? But as you get to the center, it's kind of like that, but then it, what you don't, this might be straight, but you know, the driveways go down this way. It may be pushing this way, and this will be pushing that way. This may be the center right here, okay? Just want to show you that. So that's the first. I'm going to go to see how far away my 16 millimeter on the Yorkie is. And I'm going to go to here, which is, I do the wall, okay, so the entrance, but you can see how wide it is, okay? Now, the distortion was probably because I was pointing the camera like this, and it was getting all the other thing. You know, I was centering on the airplane, so that could be also the distortion on the bottom part of the barrel. But so 16 millimeters is kind of far away, but with the R5II, you can do this. You can crop in, and it almost looks clear, but not quite. Okay, so a nice lens, let's say for vlogging, 16, which is an f2.8, a 24 millimeter, which is an f1.8, is what I would recommend. They're great lenses, okay? Small, portable, but I like the 24 because it's also a macro. I love the 35, which is a macro also. And, and there you go. I think it's in portrait mode, so the greens are kind of popping a little bit, but still, all right, you don't really see that much distortion. Where the distortion was, I was holding the camera up, and I was pointing toward the airplane, and I got it. It was sharp, okay? So, 24 millimeter, you know the thing, 4 ways, Primes, I'm going to skip right through it. 28, look, it even got a bird, and yet I'm doing it on this wall right here. But isn't that neat? And that's a nice shot. If I go like this, yep, it's building a nest, I think, or bringing some food. I hope it's not a plastic, and I hope that might be part of his wing. So anyway, but you see, I like this, the 28 millimeter. I think it's a great lens at f2.8. So if I couldn't take the 35 millimeter, I would take the 28. Okay. Now this is 35 millimeter. So you get a little bit closer, you still get a wide field of view. 50 millimeter. A lot closer. And then that's the 85. And this is the one, or the f2. So you see, this is a macro lens also. I love the 85 millimeter focal length. You know, for portraits and stuff. I used it yesterday, and my buddy Brinson used the 50 millimeter f1.2. So I had the 85, he had the 50. So this right here is the 1.2 at 85. So you see everything is a lot brighter. Colors are more punchier. So even if you look at this compared to the other, see, that's darker. And this is what a 1.2 can do. Okay, that's the difference. That's into the primes. Now we're going to the zooms, and I did everything on here. So this is the 15 to 35, 15, 24, 28, 35. Okay, so if you look at 35 to 28 compared to 24, 15 is the biggest difference. So usually when I use this lens, it's either 15, or if I want to get a closer shot, then I'll probably go up to 24. But for a wide field of view, 15 or 24, and then the 28, 35 for the wider part. And then she's 24, 28, 35. 15, 24, 28, 35. 15, 24, 28, 35. You see, you can still get the ditch at 35. All right? Same thing here. 15, 24. If you really want a wide field of view, the 15, there you go. I picked that over the 16 to 28. I like the wider focal length, 15 to 35. So right here is 24, 28, 35, 24. I don't think I was doing the, for some reason I wasn't doing the 15. Okay, my bad. And I lost. I'm sorry. That's 35. This is a 24 to 105 f2.8. Okay, 24, 28, 35, or 50. Yeah, I skipped the 28 on this. 24, because it's not much different. 24, 35, 50, 70, 85, 105. So the f4 is not bad. All right, this is an f2.8, and it's pretty heavy. I think the 2870 outweighs it a little bit more. But right here, same thing. So I see, you can see the bird, and I can see with the R5II you can crop in a little bit, and you can see the little bitty bird down there. And then he flew off right here. Where you see this is at 70, 85, 105. And then I just did the bird bath. 24, 35, 50, 70, 85, 105, 24, 35, 50, 70, 85, 105. And see, this is a sharp lens. And you can see it can also do bokeh. So that's sharper by here, and that's sharp, all right? But the front part is kind of blurred. And I like that. So that it's a wonderful lens, okay? I should have used it yesterday. I had it with me. I didn't even decide to take it out. And the same thing. Okay, so this is 50, 70, 85, 105. Now this is 24 to 240. This is a lens I like. If I go on traveling, it's this lens and maybe the 35 millimeter. That's all I need. And I'd probably take the R5II. And you see, going into 150 and then 240, it's still pretty sharp, even at 6.3. Same thing here. Just keep zooming in so you can see how sharp the brick is. Now I'm going to do the bird bath. So the other one was at 100, 150, 240. So you had that zoom. You can get close by. That's why I like this lens, okay? And then of course I was trying to get the airplane. And I finally got that one, and this is at 240. So I missed one, okay? But it was real quick. I was doing this. Okay, same thing here. See the reach on this? It's unreal. And as you zoom in, you get more color punch. And more bokeh too. See, that's pretty sharp back there on the hospital. And that's about a quarter of a mile away, okay? They're coming along. That's at 240 millimeters. So it was focusing on the tree instead of the hospital. At 150, it was on the hospital. And last but not least, the I believe this is the 28 to 70 f2. So there's 28, 35, 50, and 70. This is why everybody likes it, because it's sharp. All right, but it's one of the heavier lenses. It's weather sealed, just like the 24 to 105. You just get the extra reach, but the aperture is 2.8 compared to 2.0 on the 28 to 70. So some people may only need that. The other option is the 24 to 70 f4. Okay, that's another option. So same thing, 28, 35, 50, 70. And then I think this is at 50 and 70. Okay, so as you zoom in, you can see the colors. You know, getting closer. It's kind of vibrant. 28, 35, 50, 70. 28, 35, 50, and 70. That's 70. Oh, okay. There's a bird right here, and as I was focusing on it, it jumped down. Okay, that's why I missed it. And that's the last picture. Well, no, I got one more of the bird up there. Now I got it in focus. And if I close in, look how sharp that is. And that's at f2. And that's the last picture. So let's go back over here. Show all the lenses. All right. I'm going to go back here to remove that. Make this larger. Yeah, I'm going to do something different. Do something like that. Break people out. Yeah, something like that. I'll go right there. Okay, so there you have the lenses. Here you have the camera. I love this camera, the R5II. Okay, there was a little problem with focusing. When I had it in portrait mode, I should have been pointing at first, and sometimes you forget that. If it doesn't recognize the subject, and I was switching between animal and people, you sometimes forget to change it. I had it on auto intelligent focus. I didn't like it. I went back to the servo autofocus, which did me better. But when I had it in portrait mode, and I'm not used to portrait mode, I like it wide. 16:9, 3:2. I like it like that. But Briston was trying to show me go by 4:3, portrait, more. He's more into Instagram and advertising than I am with, I'm more of a landscape guy, okay, instead of a portrait guy. And I think you can get some pretty good portrait just by doing this, okay. Wider field of view, you can see behind the person. You can still get bokeh, but I rather do it that way than this way. It's just my personal preference. But this is a great camera, okay? These are great lenses that I showed you. So the question comes to be portability, all right? You take multiple lenses with you, or you just take a all-in-one and maybe one prime, okay? Weight is a big issue. Price is a big issue. Some people can't afford it. So if you can get an all-in-one zoom lens and one prime, that's all you need, okay? You still got the 85 millimeter, focal length of 50 millimeter, 35, all the way down to 24. And then you got the extra zoom to the 100, 150, 240. You have all that. So what I'm thinking is my pick, even with a higher megapixel camera, is the 24 to 240, and I would be satisfied with that. That would cover mainly the street photography and little birds and stuff. With the R5II, the digital zoom, it doesn't have the 2F for it, but you can crop it. Put it in crop mode, and then you can get that. But still, it's the same, all right? So I'd rather have the higher megapixels. I like the picture quality better. My buddy Briston, he loves the less megapixels, but he likes the quicker action, because that way he can just do shoot, and then pick the picture he wants. Matter of opinion, different styles, but I just want to give you options. Weight over portability. Price, all right, with performance, and it depends on your pocketbook. So if I had to start out, I would go with the 24 to 240 and maybe the 35 millimeter one prime. The 50 millimeters is still the cheapest. 16 millimeters okay, just as long as you don't point it up and you have a little barrel distortion. I love the 28. 28 is a good lens, okay? So you got different options, even the RF24. I'm more of a street photographer, car vlogging dude, all right? I'm more into video than pictures, but if you're going to travel and you want an all-in-one thing to do, I think for a dash cam, the 35mm is excellent. It'll cover the whole front windshield without a little bit of a hood. And then the all-in-one zoom. And that's the way I would go. That's my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. Just giving you options. So there's going to be a part 4, and it's going to be a shocker. And it's not going to deal with the Canon. So thank you for watching. Remember, stay safe, keep smiling, and I'll see you next time. Bye, folks. Have a wonderful day. I have to go on the right one.